What's going on, people? Welcome to a new series on Back of the Nest, where we look to bring on guests that have had a big influence on our history. As you can see by the title, I'm delighted to have cult hero, South London born and bred, former Palace Academy and first team player for our first episode, the player with one of the most important cutbacks in our history. Welcome, Sean Scannell.
Thank
How
you.
are you
Thank
doing?
you.
How you doing, bro? Thank you for
I'm
coming
good.
on today, man.
Thank you very much for having me on, man. And yeah, I'm good, man. Just been cracking on, doing what I got to do. So yeah, I'm good.
I'm also here with a big dog D. Obviously, he's normally hosting, but today I'm gonna take over. He's of the younger generation, Sean. So like
Oh,
we got
okay,
we,
yeah,
we
yeah,
got we got we got to enlighten him on what it was like pre
yeah,
Premier League,
yeah,
pre
cool, yeah,
Category
yeah.
One academies. But
No,
yeah,
it should be good though. It should be good because, of course, like I've watched you play, but when I watched you play, I was only like 10 years old, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like 10, 12. So like there's a generation which know about you and heard about you and watched like highlight clips, but there's a generation that didn't experience you playing for Palace.
My generation was the best generation as well.
Is it your generation was the best?
Yeah,
We'll get into
100%.
it. We'll get into it.
yeah. So obviously, growing up, you got your big brother Damien. So what was your first influences on football, and when did you first get into it?
Probably the don't really remember like when, but my first time like when I played for a team would have been Addiscombe Corinthians. Yeah, obviously my two big brothers used to play as well. Yeah, but I just loved football regardless, man. I remember going to the park with my two brothers and their friends, and I just loved ball, man. And then I remember my best friend Carl, when I was a young boy. Yeah, it was his dad used to not own, but he was the manager of my age group, and I used to play for them. Yeah, and literally I just loved it, man. And because I knew I was good.
Mhm.
I knew how good I was. I used to terrorize teams, man. And we had a good team, but we had players that went on to play at other academies as well. So being then, I used to play in Brixton as well, Brixton Recreation Centre. And we used to go down there, and a lot of academy boys would come through there as well. So that was like the first times when I was like, like when you know how, like, where you can play football when you're young, yeah, but you might not want to like make it. You know, you don't know if that's your dream yet. But then I knew when I started playing for Addiscombe, that's when I knew, like, nah, this is something I want to do.
Yeah. What age was that? Was you at
That was
Addiscombe?
probably like, so I'd been like, that's primary school, like the start of primary school, all the way to like, and then when I went to Palace was a bit about 11. So it was like literally like 6, 7, 8, 9, them type of years.
Yeah. So go on, D.
I was going to say, around that age, was you like looking up to any particular players growing up, or was you still like too young to kind of process it? You just like kind of enjoying the game itself more than...
that I've never really supported a team yet, but I think my first team that I supported was Chelsea, yeah. But I didn't see like it was just maybe because of the colour of the kit. Yeah, that was that. Remember the old school? They had a yellow one.
Yeah.
The
Umbro one.
Yeah. So I think that's what. And I remember my favourite player was R9, but even then, I think that was growing up a little bit older than that. So at them times, I think it was just playing football with my brothers. And when I'm playing football with my brothers, yeah, being the youngest there, and see, like when you're young and you're skilling man up and you nutmeg someone, everyone's gassed off of it. Yeah, that's when I started getting like introduced into it properly.
Yeah. So when did you get scouted for Palace?
I got scouted for Palace probably under about 11 years old. I think it was 11, 12 years old. Yeah, that got scouted when I was playing for Croydon. So I was playing for Croydon District, and I was doing because I played for my school team. I played for Croydon District, and then I was playing for Addiscombe. And for Croydon District, I was literally, as I said, I was causing chaos in everywhere I was playing. Yeah, so I remember playing at Croydon Arena. We had a game there, yeah, and I remember just destroying the game, man. And then I think my brother knew there was a guy that used to work at Palace. I don't remember Lou. Clary. Clary, yeah. He was a black guy. He used to have a perm. Yeah, back in the day. Yeah. And I don't know what he does now. Yeah, but my brother knew him, and then he sent it out. He got a scout to come and watch me. Yeah. And literally from then, and then it was me and remember Michael Boateng.
Michael Boats, my close pal, man. Boats,
So it was me and Boats that got the trial. Me and Boats got a trial to go and play at Palace. I mean, I think it was like a 6-week trial back then. Now it's like the trial's going forever, yeah. But back then it was 6-week trial. If you're good enough, you're good enough. And I knew when I went there, I'm going there to do my thing.
Because obviously, when I I was there. I think I was about 4 or 5 years younger than you, and I remember. Obviously, I didn't remember when you was like under 14s, under 15s, but I remember when you hit under 16s, you just accelerated.
Took off, yeah. That's for me. That's when I felt like I kind of took off as well, because when I first went to the Academy of Palace, the Palace Academy weren't all that. Like I remember we was getting slapped like 14-0 by Arsenal,
bro. And we used to get slapped the same, bro. You remember when you used to have to play like Arsenal and West Ham 4 times, and they just slapped you 9-0.
Used to play, I don't know if they still do it. It was like 4 quarters.
Yeah, 420s.
Yeah, and it was my days. It was literally got battered. Yeah. What? So every weekend I was getting battered. So then I remember they brought in Colin, Mickey Hazard, and Gary Izzet, and everything changed like completely. Like just the structure of the academy changed. I remember that my age group probably 2 or 3 people remained. Yeah, it was like me, Bostock. Obviously, that was a year below. Johnny Williams. Like there was names still there, but in my age group, I don't think there was anyone really left. Yeah. So then, as I got older, Dave was the ones that was playing me a year above when I got to that under 15s playing under 16s. I remember my first game for under 16s. Yeah, MK Dons. I was kind of nervous because it's my first time playing up like that. I bagged 5 in 25 minutes.
Because I remember in academies, like normally to get into academy, you play a Sunday league, you play 1-2 years up.
Yeah,
and if you was in an academy playing up, you knew you was doing. Yeah,
because not everyone plays up. You got to be to play up here. But when I scored 5 in 25 minutes, and I got subbed. So it was like I got subbed, man. They took me off and said, "Just like chill now."
I think Colin is now head of academy at Fulham.
Fulham, I think he's involved around the first team in that now as well, isn't he?
I think he runs junior elite as well. Your brother's son plays for them. I always saw Colin.
He was massive, man. For so many young players, he was even for myself, man. Like I didn't play for back then. It would have been Jason Yor, wouldn't it? Yeah. Academy, but now junior elite. But he was when he came in. The amount of players that came in was I remember my year. I think like maybe 8 of us got a pro.
I remember. Yeah. Because I would say, was it Lee Hills?
Lee Hills. He was the year above. He was the year above, and then you had even the year above loads of. But my year would have been me, the Charlie, Ashley Robinson, James Comley, Kudugs, Pinney, Kieran Thorpe, the goalkeeper. So there was loads of us.
Kleiny, was he your year?
Kleiny, but Kleiny was the silent assassin. Victor Moses.
Victor was he was a good.
I don't really count Victor, man.
Because I remember on like our younger group would train on a Saturday, and then the 16s pitch was there, then the 18s pitch was there, and I remember you used to just be slapping goals every Saturday for the 16s. Then all of a sudden, you was on the big pitch, the 18s pitch. So
I used to do when I was in school. I used to do see when you do leave when you go and train. But I was like people were doing it 1 day a week on a Tuesday. I was doing it 3 days a week. Yeah, so I wasn't. I was only going to school 2 days a week. Yeah, so
that's mad.
It was giving me like while people were just doing it once. I was training with the youth team from like year 9. Yeah, so maybe even year 8, like just training with the youth team constantly. So it's like I've already experienced that the men's side of it as well at such a young age. Yeah, so when I got there eventually, it was like, come on, man, this is because
I didn't get a scholar. Go on.
What cat was because Palace now cat 1? There was no categories.
There was no categories back then.
So how would that work then? How would that work? Like you wouldn't face the likes of you would face everyone. Arsenal, Chelsea,
everyone that was around us. Yeah,
it's like regional. Yeah. So
you'd
have we wouldn't play Man United and stuff like that unless it was like the FA Youth Cup.
Yeah, FA Youth Cup. And sometimes you might get the odd like one game where you go and travel to the Midlands or they come to you. Like I'm playing against Villa, but you only do that once.
Yeah.
And there was no like I don't know if there is now, but there was no like you didn't have a league until under 18s.
Yeah.
So it was just friendlies every game, but every game meant something.
In terms of what? What did it mean? Like in terms of like for you trying to prove yourself?
Yeah, because obviously every game that you're playing, regardless if there's no league, you're playing to be a footballer, isn't it? So forget the league. I'm trying. At the end of the day, when you get to the decision is what is it under 16s when you get offered the YT.
Yeah.
So for some players, that is just defined. That's what I'm playing for, and to reach there to then get the YT. But I got a YT when I was at 14. I got offered the YT from young.
Yeah, because it goes from, I think, under 12, you can get offered like 2s and 4 years.
Yeah.
And then, so like the best players at 12, they were saying, you're here till you're 16.
Yeah. That's what for me. I got you ain't leaving basically.
Yeah, basically. What was it like being in school and like just being because you went Ashburton?
Yeah,
and obviously that area's got some ballers. Like, how was it? How was it at school? You rolling through like you was the man.
You know what? Yeah, I was just like, everyone just knew me as the kid that just wanted to play football. From the second I remember going to, when I first went to school in year 7, people say to me like, see, like high school, people fall out of love with whatever they're doing. People fall out of love with football, whatever it is. I was just like, people would say to me, you're probably gonna not like football. By the time you get to year 11, football might not be your main thing. But in my head, I'm like, bro, I don't think you understand how much football means to me. You know, like I'll pick football over school. Yeah, that in my head, that's what it was. Not saying to people do it, but in my head at that time was just like, nah, man, football is everything to me. So regardless of what's happening in school, I'm doing my thing. So by the time I got to year 9, that's what everyone was like. People was like, yeah, this guy's gonna be a footballer, you know. In my PT, Mr. Yates, man, one the best person for me in school. Anyone that played football, he was like the main. See, like your PE teacher that everyone just goes to. Yeah, and he even he knew, man. He's kept me going, and as I got older, he had like, what is Winch your age?
Yeah, I was me, Wince, Williams. That was my year.
Because Wince went to my school.
You know what? Solly March was in my year as well. You know the Brighton.
Oh yeah.
They released him at 14.
Palace's Academy. Yeah. He used to be Palace Academy. He used to play with Lou. But yeah, it's crazy. No, but when it comes down to it, you know that you're going into school. You know that everyone knows how good you are. And you're playing above the standards, like you're playing above normally what people in your age group do. Did you feel like you still stayed grounded? Like, how did you stay motivated? Was it still the bigger picture that kept you going in terms of trying to get that bigger contract?
See that I've always said, that especially back then, not so much now times, but back then, it was easy for me to stay grounded, because for one, the way I grew up, man, like, no matter what I was given, just keep grounded. Like, and I've got my 2 brothers around me that will tell me about myself, things like that. My dad at the time, but as well, I feel that when you're growing up back then, the older pros and that, they used to be a bit more savage than the way people are now. So if you wasn't grounded, you get told about yourself, or you just not playing. I feel that sometimes you might get away with it now, but see that back then, now times that a young group of players could probably have the dressing room.
Yeah.
Where back then, young boys didn't run no dressing room. Like, young boys, you knew your place. Yeah. So that's what kind of get me grounded. I just wanted to be. You had the manager like Neil Warnock, who you don't want to trouble anyway. Then you got people around like my old, just above me would have been people like Ryan Hall, Lewis Grabs, Aaron Fraze. They're a few years above me, but then you had the older pros and Lewis Spence as well. And then you had the older pros as well, like Clinton, Tom Sawers, Ben Watson, and that. So for you to not have your feet on the ground, it would have been awkward. So you didn't want that awkward thing. You didn't, like, people would have not spoke to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, do you remember your first training session with the first team?
I don't remember my first training session with the first team. That's actually a good question. I don't, but
or your first memories of training with the first team.
Yeah. What's the first memory?
I just remember when I remember playing for them. I used to play like the Rezzies and that. And when Neil Warnock came in, like, I remember the first time I met him, I remember you got to do your jobs in that. So I'm all filling up waters.
Yeah, washing the boots.
Washing boots in it. Yeah. So, and when you always had to do everything outside. No matter how cold it was, you had to do everything outside. Washing boots, filling up water bottles, cleaning footballs. And in Warnock's office, he had where we used to fill up everything. He had to walk past. So I remember him coming to meet me one time, and Gary is introducing to me, and from then he spoke to me and he's like, I heard you're a good player in that. And I was just like, yeah. So literally not long, I think he just brought me in, and not even just me. What made it more comfortable is that he brought in a few of us. So there would have been like Victor would have got the go ahead straight. He probably was training first team before anyway. But then Bostock, Lee Hills, who I think that was the 3, and then me. And we was because we were the first 4, I think, that kind of broke in the same age group that kind of broke through. And we was training first team, and it was nerve-wracking because of the type of pros that was then. When you're growing up, you're watching. I'm going because I don't know if they do it anymore as well. Yeah, remember back in the day, you had to go and watch the games on a Saturday.
Yeah. We used to sit in the main stand in the corner.
So we had to go and watch the games, and I used to think to myself, like, imagine that being a training with these boys and then when you start doing it, you're just like, first week or so, you're nervous, which is normal, but after a little while, it just becomes normal. Like it's just showing. I just used to showing my ability and showing what I could do and working hard, and then that's when the players start getting the grips of things, and they start looking after you a bit more, and this becomes easier.
You kind of had to earn their respect.
With especially then as well, man. See, then earning the respect then was like, it's not hard, but like some of the older pros, man, sometimes you got to respect them, like they've been there and they're doing it week in, week out, and that. So going to train with them, I'm like, listen, I just got to listen to what they say, whatever they tell me, just listen, whatever type of information they're giving me, learn, listen, and just take on what they're giving me. And that's what I done well. I took on a lot of things that people, even if I disagree, I'll still listen, take it on, and that's what I think that I grew like a bond with some of the first team players.
Yeah, I was going to quickly ask, with the first team players, when you went into training, was there anyone in particular that might have helped you out a bit more? Is there any first team players?
For the young boys, man, Clinton Morrison was the guy for a lot of the young players, man, because he would come into we used to get changed up the back bit, and he would be one of the players that and Tom Sauls was sick as well, man. But then even like the younger pros that was like a little bit old, like your Grabans, your Aaron Frays, Lewis Spencers, all like them players there. Ryan Hall as well they'll be like anything you needed, you could go to them.
Yeah. Do you, so your debut was 4th of December against QPR?
QPR, yeah.
Yeah, what
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I remember I think we were 1-0 down in that game as well. And first game, obviously Loftus Road, it's not in my head, yes, I know it's not the biggest stadium.
Yeah, it's tight.
But it's really, mad tight. Yeah. So when I've gone there, like in my head, I'm just thinking to myself, look, I just want to come on, do my bit. And when it was 1-0, I'm thinking, it's not going to bring me on because we're losing. Yeah, so you might want to bring on more experience. He was like, to me, go warm up. And I was like, cool. Let me just go and warm up. And I think Hillsy might have just come on before me. Yeah. And I came on and we won 2-1, but I played well. I played really well, yeah. And gave me confidence boost straight away. Yeah. Massive confidence. As soon as you come on your first game, you play well, you're ready. If I would have played bad, obviously I thought it would have been different. Yeah. But because I played well, I was like, I think I'm ready for this.
Yeah, you feel like you belong a bit. Like okay, I belong here. Because then obviously I was at the next game, the Sheffield Wednesday one. You score on is that your home debut as well?
My home debut, yeah.
And you came on after you scored after about a few minutes after you came on?
Literally a few minutes. I think it was we were drawing 1-0 in that one, and came on, and just before I scored, I done a mad across, like I beat one player, everything like that, and that's when people were like, bro, like he's rapid. Yeah, and then 2 minutes later, literally, I think Jamie Skrokoff must have won a flick on or something. Clinton Morrison took a shot, hit the keeper, and bounced to me, and then to be fair, it was a good finish.
He's being humble.
Nice minute. Was it a nice one?
It was a perfect chip. And I remember these times at Palace, we didn't really have much to shout about. So it was like 2000. We was in a bit of a lull. We weren't going for promotion. We was like fighting relegation.
Yeah.
So like to see a young player come through, and obviously I saw you going through the academy. It was a big lift, because then all of a sudden you had Victor Moses, Lee Hills. I think Boston might have left in the January that year.
Yeah. So Victor would have been. I think it would have been me, Victor, and Hills would have been there.
Yeah. But it was just such a lift for the club to see young players coming through.
Yeah. And that's what it was. It was amazing, because I think that's what helped when with Warnock as well. He probably saw, like, obviously we've come through and we're doing well, but then it was like, right, we must have more kids. And that's when I see a lot more of the other lads start coming through, and that's what was sick, because then Warnock, he started putting his trust into the young players as well.
Yeah. So going into next season, you was named Young Player of the Year 2008. Do you think that's one of your best seasons as a pro?
Yeah, 100%. Would definitely be one of my best seasons. Obviously, winning Young Player of the Year for your next season as well was like a great achievement. And I think that next year as well, I got called up for Ireland.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah. So I got called up for Ireland, got the Young Player of the Season, got Young Player of the Season for Republic of Ireland as well. So it was like everything was just happening.
Was that the season we got in the playoffs?
Yes. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That was a very, very good team. I think that team, because I was at the game. I think we lost to Bristol City in the playoffs.
Ben Watson's penalty.
Yeah, and mate, that team was just unreal to watch. That team. Moses, Scannell. Then we had Paul Eiffel was there.
Oh yeah, Paul Eiffel. Even Anthony Gardner was there.
Yeah, but Ben Watson. Talk to us about Ben Watson, because right now we've got Adam Walton, and Ben Watson's the last type of technical midfielder I've seen.
Yeah, Ben Watson was sick, man. Like he was the first person that he was unreal, man. He was like the first person that I used to see, like, saw live. See, like when you realize how important set pieces is. Yeah, he's technically he was ridiculous, man. Like free kicks, corners, anything like that. Yeah, he'd just stand over and he had that super whip.
Yeah, he had that big diag as well.
Yeah, he could just zing it across, and he was like, when technically in that he was unreal. That's why he probably went on and had a great career in that as well. But but he was good for the young boys as well. He was more chill. He was really chill, but he was really good for the young boys.
He came through the academy as well, didn't he? So he probably understood. With that season, what are your most memorable moments of that season? Because to me, that's quite a memorable season.
Yeah, that season there, the Young Player of the Year. Hold on, I don't remember the season too much. Yeah, I think I might. Was Clinton was still there, wasn't he?
Yeah, Clinton was there. Yeah.
So it would have been. I remember my goal against.
We had the all white away kit.
Yeah. So that's what I remember when I played against Wolves and I scored.
Yeah.
I remember that goal. Yeah, Wolves is one of my teams that I used to like scoring against as well. But that season, like you said, I think the togetherness was unreal. Like that's when I first had the feeling of like, the togetherness in the team. Warnock, what he brought in that team was like, no matter how good you was or how bad you was, like if you was part of the squad, everyone's just like a little family. And I think that's what kind of got us into the playoffs as well.
Was that Go on, Nifty.
I was going to quickly say, during that time when you actually made your debut, you didn't have a professional contract. Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't, mate. I don't think I had a pro contract when I scored my first goal. Now I think I was still on a youth team contract.
So what was the feeling like, during that time versus when you get a pro contract? Is that like a relief now that you've made it, kind of thing? Because you're playing, you're doing all of this thing. You must be thinking back of your mind, or you might be asking questions like, when am I going to get it? When am I going to get it? Was he asking questions? Was he just I
always thought that me being around the first team and training around the first team, I would have got my pro. Yeah, so I knew that was going to come eventually, but it was just signing the contract was a massive for me. But my main thing was I'm just playing. I just wanted to play. He could have kept, but see, when you're just young and hungry, he could have kept me on a youth team contract. I'd have been just happy to play. But when you get the pro, it's a massive thing because now you're a professional footballer.
How was it like negotiating? Did you have an agent? Did you know what type of money you wanted?
No, man. See, when you're that young, man, you don't even think about it. You don't even think about the money or nothing like that. Man. You just say, just get me the pro contract, and that's that. I don't even remember like the contract talks and that because you're never really involved in contract talks.
Do you remember how long the contract was that you got?
I think it was 2 years. First contract was 2 years, and I think I signed another contract within the next year. Yeah, but the first contract was, I think Warnock just wanted to give some of the young boys their contracts because they deserved it.
Yeah. How was it? Because I've spoke to a lot of people about they used to see you walk into the game.
Right, I used to walk to the game all the time. I literally, I'm not going to lie.
But I asked a lot of because obviously I know loads of Palace fans have been going for 40, 50 years. And honestly, the same question that popped up, along with the Sheffield Wednesday game, is why did he walk to so many games? Like they used to see you walking Portland Road, they said.
Yeah. Because where I used to live in by not far from Marina Tram Stop. So from my house, I used to cut through to Marina Tram Stop, walk up by Harrington Road, and then come out to the main road. And literally home games, I felt no way about it. I just used to walk, and then after a game, win, lose or draw, I'd walk home.
That's mad.
It was just like,
I don't know why.
Sometimes.
Yeah. That's because there needs to be like 12,000 going them times. So
walking past the Palace pub and that, and I'd be like, you hear all the fans in that singing my name and that, and I'll just be like, I'm just going home, man. I might even get some food on the way home.
So when you said you didn't support a team growing up, did you feel with your Palace career, did you feel like you finally belonged to a club, like from the fans and stuff like that? Or was you still not really a fan?
Palace is 100%. That's when I became a Palace fan. That's when I actually became a Palace fan, when I realised that that's why when I left Palace, it hurt me so much.
Mm.
It hurt me a lot when I left Palace, yeah, because it was like that was home. That was my. I'd never see, like when you're young, you just never think you're gonna leave. Yeah. So then when I did leave, it was like a massive thing for me because I was like, nah, this is like. I played millions of games from how young I was to when I left. Yeah. It kind of hurt me in a way that I think, like, how do I all of a sudden you're not wanted all of a sudden?
Yeah, I think it was hard for a lot of Palace fans because I think even now Palace fans love to see academy players coming through. Like that's
100%. Yeah, that's one of the big things though, isn't it? Because of Palace. I don't know. Do they still bring players through in that as much as they used to?
We've got Mitchell, but he kind of came from Brentford. I think that.
Still part of the academy.
Yeah, still part of the academy. Kapora. There's a few. I think transitioning from the Category 1 academy has probably taken a few more years than we hoped. And because when we're in the Championship, you kind of just got to throw academy players in there.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
But when you left, it was like a big thing. Like no Palace.
Yeah, when I
wanted you to leave. What happened? What happened with that?
Basically, I just remember when I was on holiday one time, and they just said to me, I got a phone call from my agent at the time, and he was like Palace don't, and I've just signed. I've had like I think I put my Instagram. It was 5.5 years, but that was 4.5 years or 5.5 years. I had left because I had like a year left, and then I signed another 3.5 years, which would have made it 4.5 years, or I signed a 4.5. Yeah, so it was one or two, but I still had a long time left in my contract, and I remember just getting a phone call to say like, Sean, obviously they're trying to go a different way now. They want to sign certain players. And I was just like, cool, yeah, what's that got to do with me? Yeah. And he was like, obviously they want to let you go, not let you go, but you can go find a new club. And I was just like, oh man. And I was thinking, where am I going? Yeah. And then he was like, obviously Huddersfield have put in.
Who was the manager at that time at Palace?
Dougie Freeman.
Okay.
We skipped through a couple of years because I don't think the fan would forgive us for not talking about a couple of games, and one of the biggest ones is that Sheffield Wednesday game.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday was massive.
So I was there. There was 7.
Oh, was you at the game?
Yeah, I was at the game. Probably top 3-4 best Palace games I've ever been to. There was so much riding on it. Talk us through that run when Paul Hart and Dougie took over to the Sheffield Wednesday game. Like, what was the camp like, and what was the game like?
You know what, you're going through, because obviously that's the first time I've ever been through something like that. Like, see, like that whole administration. Like, I've never witnessed it ever. Yeah, so going through it, being involved in it was just like, you just never knew. Every day you're training, but you just never know what's gonna happen. One player could have that. Victor, I remember Victor wasn't allowed to play in certain games because of obviously that he was going to be sold. So they kind of pulled him out, and I'm just like anything can happen now. Yeah, and so, but the main thing that remained was the togetherness of the team. Like that never changed. Yeah, so because obviously Warnock leaving.
Kleiny got sold, didn't he?
Like I think Kleiny, he might have been. Did he play in that game?
No, because Butterfield played right back, didn't he?
Oh, Butterfield played right back. Yeah. Butterfield played right back. Yeah, so Kleiny. So all these players, everyone's going, and Warnock's gone, and then Paul Hart comes in, and they're together. They just kept it all together, and it was just like everything that was happening outside, did nothing come between us. Yeah, so that Sheffield Wednesday game that's probably at that time probably the biggest game that I was ever involved in. Like, it was absolutely. I remember walking out, and Sheffield Wednesday is a massive club. Massive club, and the stadium. When you normally walk out to that ground, there's normally a full house there anyway. So that time, you literally see when you can't even hear yourself think. You just know the importance of the game, not even for Palace, but for them as well, because obviously they got relegated from that, didn't they?
Yeah, so it was Palace, Sheffield Wednesday. If Palace won or drew, we'd stay up. If they won, we would have gone down.
Yeah.
And probably gone out of business because of the administration. So we needed to stay up so badly on that last day.
Yeah.
Do you remember the game? Because I can recite the whole game.
Yeah. I remember, that's one game I actually remember like clearly. Like, because I remember Stone John at the end when he did his chance.
With the ball across the line. Why how did he not square it?
He should have just squared it. He should have just I swear Ambrose was there as well.
Yeah.
He should have squared it to him.
The first goal is scored by another cult hero. They still sing his name, Alan Lee.
Yeah. He
Tell me about Alan Lee.
I played with him at Huddersfield as well.
Oh, swear.
Yeah. So he was different. Like, he was. See, like, your number 9 that you wanted. They see that especially then as well, like something that was hard to play against. But any flick-ons and that he was a madness. Yeah. So and we see them strikers that as a winger, all he wants you to do is cross the ball.
Yeah.
Like he just says, just cross it. I don't care about you beating anyone, just cross it. Yeah.
Did you start the game?
Yeah, I started. Yeah.
Yeah, you started because it was.
Yeah.
It was.
I think I played. I think I might play the whole game. I think I might play the whole game.
It's Calvin Andrew was up front.
Actually, I might what's up. Yeah, Calvin. Yeah, Calvin Andrews played. Oh yeah, Calvin.
Yeah, bad player.
Yeah, but he is the funniest human being ever. No, but he was actually. He's actually a good player. You know, not gonna like. See, he was the strongest man as well. Like.
Yeah. But Palace fans were they. I think we always accept players that try really hard. But he was.
I can't lie. I was in one of those games where he scored. I think that was my first Palace game, Preston North End.
Rare games.
Yeah. That was my first Palace game because I had like Palace for Life Foundation back then. After school, we used to go and then they gave away tickets. And then I went to Palace versus Preston North End. I can't remember the score, but I just remember he scored. That's the only thing. I think we might have won that game as well. But but it happens though. I don't know about you, but there might be some players who are very good at training, but on match days they might not have the same output. Like some people look down on some players.
But he actually Calvin and Lee started up top. Me, I don't know who played left wing. Yeah, I don't even know.
I know he went
Ambrose should have played left wing, wouldn't it? Ambrose.
Yeah, you played right.
Yeah, I played right.
So
and
we went 1-0
Alisson and Dye played.
Yeah, he had a great song as well. But we went 1-0 up, and then that moment where Liam Clark steps on Butterfield. I don't know how that wasn't a foul.
Good finish as well. But
and then
I think a massive thing
breaks his foot.
Yeah, I think that massive thing that helped because Liam Clark was a good player.
Yeah,
he was a really good player, man. And him coming off, I think kind of changed it a little bit. But but then when we went 2-1 up, it was that was
talk us through it, man. That's what every Palace fan wants to like. The commentary is like it's Scannell cuts back.
Yeah, I think Alisson and Dye might have won like a flick on or something like that. And I've gone down the line and literally I did not see Ambrose there, but I just thought the way I crossed I like to cross sometimes, like drag it back because I always saw that defenders drop. Yeah, so let me drag it back and someone's coming onto that. And literally it was the right man because that season he was on some serious mode.
I think he scored 20 that season.
Yeah, and he was scoring like all types of goals.
Do you remember the free kick he scored against Villa?
That was magic. Even did you see the goal against Man United?
Oh yeah. That was So that game, that was the season after though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the season after. Yeah.
So
Dougie was managing them, wasn't he?
Yeah. Quickly on that last game, the bit at the end when Clint Hill starts rocking all the Sheffield Wednesday fans.
Clint Hill, man. Clint Hill started that. Clint Hill was moving like we lost.
I know.
Yeah. But
did any of them come up to you?
Nah, I just got myself in, man. Like, I was just quick.
Did you go straight Palace down
fan, what I liked about Palace, I don't really see away fans running to on the pitch. It's always home fans that run onto their own pitch. Palace, they didn't care. They just like run onto the pitch and but if you do that, you got to kind of deal with the consequences. So it just turned into madness. And then but Clint Hill turn around, and not even turn around. I'm watching it on later on, and I'm seeing Clint Hill just swinging his head around, and I'm just like, what? I was like, no, Clint's mad.
Because I was in the upper tier, and then all the lower tier ran on, and then the Sheffield Wednesday fans were just fuming, and then he just started steaming in. Yeah, man. But that was a great.
In the change room after though, in the change room was unreal, man. Like you see when you got the music on, everyone was just going mad. Yeah, that in there was unreal. Yeah,
and then I think that was when we was protesting and we nearly went, and then we got taken over by Parish, wasn't it? Was that? Yeah, 2010.
Yeah.
So going on to that next season, I think there's 2 games that were massive in that season. One is the FA Cup game against Man United, and I think that's Wolves' breakthrough season.
Yes, that is it.
Yeah, and the 3-1 against Brighton. Would you play in that one?
So, I remember that. Yeah. Johnny. So Kleiny would have still been there because Kleiny played in that United.
Oh yeah.
He might have been on the bench against Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
Against Sheffield Wednesday, he might have been on the bench, but because I think that might be Kleiny's breakthrough season.
Yeah.
So
because I remember he scored. Because his breakthrough season was the season before. Because do you remember when he played Reading and he won 4-2 and he scored a screamer?
And I think he played every game when he came in. I think he played every game. Yeah. So,
but
his second
2010,
season,
2011, you won Player of the Year.
Who's that? Who did? Kleiny.
Kleiny.
Yeah.
2010, 2011, you won Player of the Year, and he played every single minute.
Yeah, when he came in though, he secured that place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so in that season, what was do you remember much of the Man United and the Brighton games? Because they're the two massive games of that season.
I remember the United game, yeah, because that was quite far in the cup as well, wasn't it?
That was the quarterfinals.
Quarterfinal, because they lost in the semis. So I don't remember the build up here, but I just remember that obviously you're playing against. First time I'm going to Man United, so going there was, and I started as well. So going there was more like a dream come true type of moment. Like you get a split second of being a Premier League footballer. Then that obviously they had some big players playing. I think Berbatov even played that game. Carrick played. Pogba played. Pogba was there.
Ravel played.
Yeah, Ravel played. I had Rafael played right back and Valencia played right wing. So
Wolf mashed up that game, innit?
Wolf started. That's when Wolf was like. That's when he took off. Like after then, like you just knew he was good no matter what he played. What he was doing well, but see that game was like. I think that's the game when United were like, we want him.
Put him on the map.
Yeah.
What did you think when the Ambrose goal went in?
Bro, I just thought that is crazy. Like that goal, that was an extra time as well, wasn't it?
No. The Murray goal was an extra time.
Oh, okay. So that
Ambrose, but he hit it with like no backlift, but it like rocketed.
I couldn't believe how when you watch on TV, how it looks so far away.
Yeah,
and against I think was it the Gayring goal?
I'm not too sure if it was the Gayring goal. It might have been Kushak.
Kushak was in goal. Kushak was in goal. Yeah.
To be fair, whoever was in goal, I don't know if there was
ball knowledge. Ball knowledge.
No, I was there, bro. I wasn't there. I watched the game. I remember the game.
Kushak but to win there, that was you go into United. They could have been their second team, but that second team was strong.
Yeah. It was. And then the semi-final, I went to the home and away game.
I missed the penalty, man.
I know, man. That was a poor penalty shootout, wasn't it?
Yeah, especially for us, man. I think we missed. To be fair, my penalty was poor, but we've already missed a few already. Yeah, so it's like wasn't doing. I think Jonathan Parr missed, Jermaine Easton missed, and I missed. Yeah, and if we would have won that, we would have played Liverpool, wasn't it?
Yeah. Cardiff lost on penalties to Liverpool in the end.
Yeah. So it was that was that. Listen, after that, I took a penalty not long ago in a game, in a penalty shootout. That's the first penalty I've taken since then.
He said it was trauma because I went by myself to that game. I was like 16, and that was a mad atmosphere. That game, it was fully packed, wasn't it? They just moved into their new ground,
their new stadium. Yeah.
It was all over us that game.
Yeah. That there, man, was to be fair, I actually watched the highlights the other day. That game, they was battering us, innit?
Peter Whittingham was playing. He was balling out.
He was a good player. I think they hit post and maybe they hit crossbar.
They was all over us.
Yeah.
They was all over us. Yeah. Moving on to the first game at the Amex. So obviously, Palace, Brighton. That was a free. Do you remember much about that game?
I remember the 3-1. I think I might have set up a goal.
Was in that game? The last one?
Yeah, was that the Amex?
Murray.
Johnny Williams played. Did Johnny Williams play? Yeah. I think I set up a goal in that one. Yeah. So Wolf destroyed that game as well.
Yeah.
I remember Wolf flip tapping someone in the corner. Yeah, and I was gonna put my hands on my head. Yeah, because that's when when you see them times there. Yeah, you're not really seeing them tricks too much nowadays. People do it all the time, but then you don't really see it too much. Yeah. So it was like, bro, what Wolf done in that game was mad. But Johnny Williams as well, because when Johnny came through, he was serious, man. Johnny Esther was a serious player.
That's how when people ask me, I was like, that's the best player I've ever played with, man. He was just
Johnny, man.
For his size as well.
Yeah. Ball control, everything was just crazy. Yeah. And he was such a humble lad as well. Like he was just so chill. But that game there, I remember that. Who else was with Glenn Murray?
He scored 2.
Yeah, he scored 2. And who scored the other?
Wolf scored.
I remember Wolf's one. Yeah. So and beating Brighton back then. It was massive, and literally at the start when I first started playing Palace, I didn't realize how big the rivalry was.
Yeah,
and then when you start playing in it, you realize that the Amex as well, 6 stadium.
Yeah, that was when that was the first game back since we played them in years.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
So I don't think you know how big these games are. Like
nah. Well,
like people still talk about it.
When I played in them games, that's when I realized that these games are especially the Brighton games are mad.
Yeah. So a quick on what's
were there
bigger?
any plays? Sorry, just quickly before we move on from. Were there any plays like before the game that kind of gave you the insight into how big the game is, or was it a case of like everyone trying to figure out?
if someone's going to do that, it'll probably be the manager. Yeah. And then the captain might say his words, but the manager's the one that will normally say things. But sometimes with the games, yeah, you know how big they are, but you don't want to talk too much on it because you don't want to make people nervous or anything like that. You just want to go out and as a player, you want to treat it like every other game.
Mm.
You don't want to go out and make yourself nervous, and that could end up having a bad game. But so especially for me, I don't want to overthink things too much. I like to just go out and be like, okay, cool, today's just like last week.
Okay. Because I think I was at 2 games that you played in against Millwall. I think when Puncheon scored a hat-trick and maybe when Jermaine Easter scored and we won 1-0. What was it? What's the differences of playing Millwall away and Brighton away? What felt more intense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel that playing against Brighton away it's just noisier. Millwall away, I think it's just Millwall fans and Millwall fans as it is. Yeah. So, but Brighton away, you just know that's not going to be every week at Brighton. That's a proper rivalry game. Where Millwall away, I just think that any team that goes to Millwall, especially then, they're just going to make up noise anyway. They're just going to do whatever it is. Like it could be any London club. But Brighton, you just know that this ain't that every week thing. This is rivalry game.
So after that season, that's the season that you leave? Did you have like any? Did you not work well with Dougie? Was it just like, did it feel random? Did you not get along?
For me, it was random, man. For me, it was a random one, like, because I got on with Dougie. Because I played with Dougie as well. Yeah. I played with Dougie for years, yeah. So, and my brother played with Dougie as well. Mm-hmm. So, it was more random than anything, because I feel that if I would have known a bit more about it, then I probably would have took it better. Because I'd have been like, all right, cool. Like, obviously, we had the conversation. But I didn't really have the conversation until my agent told me, like, yeah, we're gonna get you a move in that, yeah. And then I spoke to them, because I'm like, how was just come like this, like, what, they just randomly just thought, yeah, let's get rid of Scans. But in my head, I just thought, obviously, football, man. Like, things happen. Like, you've got to, obviously, it hurt me, but then you got to just get over it and see what comes next.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so then you moved to Huddersfield. You got promoted in the 2016-17 season. Did you play much in that season?
I think I played about 15, in between 15, 20 times, because I got injured a few times that season. But yeah, I played my part in that season. Yeah, definitely. But and that was with when I first went to Huddersfield. Listen, man, I didn't know. I never even heard of the place, because obviously they come up from League One, innit?
It's Yorkshire, isn't it?
Yeah, West Yorkshire. Yeah. Right next to Leeds. So I've come up from Leeds. They've come up from League One, and I was like, "You're going Hud?" And I was like, "All right, cool. I'm going Huddersfield." Yeah. Took about 4 hours to get up there, and I was like, "Nah, this is far." Yeah.
And, especially for when you've been walking to games.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Moving from South all the way to Huddersfield, how difficult was it, like transitioning and like settling down there? Because it's a whole different environment.
Listen, I remember in the car on the way there, I was in tears. I was crying because I was like, this, I just couldn't, because obviously I was at Palace. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm not even moving like round the corner. I'm moving like, I didn't even know, like, obviously there was no maps on my phone or nothing like that. So I don't know how there was that.
It's Tom.
That's what I'm saying. So, literally, so my agent picked me up and was just like, yeah, we're gonna go up there. So I'm sitting in the back of the car thinking it might be an hour and a half. I'm in there for like 3 hours. I'm like, nah, this is crazy. So then I end up being but being up there, I'm not gonna. It was hard at the start, but I ended up spending 8 years there.
That's crazy, man. 8 years is a long time. Who are your best managers and players you played with up there?
Best manager for me personally. The best manager for like personal that got the best out of me is Chris Powell. Yeah. But the best manager was Wagner, man. He's another level. And player wise, there's you had Aaron Moy, Phil Billing. Yeah. They were serious. Naki Wells striker, he was a joke as well, man. Both fleet finishing was mad. But you just had like throughout the years you had a lot of players that like come and go. But definitely for me, Aaron Moy was up there with because he was I never knew who he was. Yeah. Because he signed from Australia to Man City and then come on loan to us. So we're like, obviously he comes straight on loan to us. So we no one knows who he really is unless you look at
quite funny looking as well, isn't it? Just
like bald. He kind of bald and that, yeah. He's just chilling that, just sitting in the changing room, and I'm like, oh, okay, shaking his hand. That it's so quiet as well, but he is a joke, like ridiculous, man.
Was you in a squad for the playoff final? Didn't you get through without scoring a goal? Like
What's that?
you,
In the playoff. In
you
the playoffs,
nil, then penalties.
Everything was penalties.
Yeah, that's mad.
Crazy.
But the manager though was that whole time being at Huddersfield, he was ridiculous. Like he was actually, I've never seen anything like him manager wise. Like for me, I've never played anything manager like him. He's just like, that's when I realized that the levels of manager.
Is that tactical or man management?
Yeah,
man management, tactical, everything. Like when it comes to how you train, when it comes to how you eat, when it comes to like watching videos on other teams, like everything was just so detailed. Like it was crazy. You train crazy. Sometimes train crazy hours. Listen, man, we used to start at 1:30, especially with then. We didn't know about all these times. Like probably now people do it a lot, yeah. But back then it was like you got to be in for like 1:30 to start at 3 p.m.
That to coincide with match days.
Yeah, literally, yeah. And you'll be done by that. You'll be getting home by like 6, 7, and then Tuesdays you got every single Tuesday is a double session. And this is even in season, and you train. You play Saturday, in Sunday, off Monday, in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then play Saturday. And then if you got a game on the Tuesday, you don't have no day off. It's just in every day.
Yeah, that's probably like the start of like modern managers coming into.
Yeah. Because Klopp was at our manager. I think Klopp's best good friend anyway. Yeah, so I remember speaking to like Kleiny and people like that. Yeah, and I think Ness was similar because there was from Dortmund, and he was like, it's just a lot of training. But when it works, you can't really complain, can you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Obviously, your next clubs were you went to Burton on loan, Bradford, Blackpool, Grimsby. What's your out of all those clubs? What was your best one out of those clubs? And what was your toughest moments in that like 5-6 year span?
Grimsby was probably, I'm not gonna lie, Grimsby was the lowest, yeah. But Grimsby was probably, I liked Bradford. I really liked Bradford because they had a good team here, but we didn't do well. But Grimsby was probably my highest and lowest point because it was at my highest point as in we got promoted from National League to League 2 and I played my part. Yeah, but my lowest point because I ruptured my Achilles as well, and that was hard to take as well.
Yeah, because we got checked the Corres at Palace, and we've had a few players that have done it. Tell us what is it like, the recovery and snapping your Achilles? Like how, especially for an explosive player like you, who's a winger and you take people on. How much did that affect you, rupturing your Achilles?
Yeah, it was mad, man. Because I remember the day I done it, I was literally like 12 minutes into the game, and all I've done was just take a step, and it just popped. Like people say you can hear it, but I didn't hear it. I just felt the bang in my calf, so that's why I didn't think it was my Achilles. I thought it was my calf. Mm-hmm. And I remember coming off thinking to myself, it must just be a dead leg or something. And then when I found out the Achilles, the surgeon was like to me, "You're going to be out for about a year." And I was like, "What?" Yeah. I was like, "That's mad." Like, and my contract's coming to an end. Yeah.
So was that your first big injury?
Nah, I've had my big injury for like a year, but I've been out for like 6 months before. I've been out for like 5 months before.
Yeah.
Because I've had quite a lot of injuries. I've had other operations and that. But the Achilles was like, it topped it off because it was like injuries, no matter what other injury you have, you can always come back from. Yeah. But Achilles, you generally feel like that the actual thing, your thought process is like, I might not come back from this one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So to come back like throughout the whole injury, like I went to St. George's Park to do like 2 weeks there one time. I was on crutches for like a couple months, in a boot for a few weeks. I think it was like 2 weeks to take the boot off. And then you go back in the boot for another 3-4 weeks, something like that. And then you just, throughout the whole time, you're just like, this is just I actually thought to myself, like, that's why I think I stepped away from football. Because when I came back, I did try to carry on and play a little bit, but I just was like, nah, I can't do this, man.
I remember the Grimsby game, because the final was played at West Ham's ground, because I saw you come on crutches.
Yeah,
I saw you come on crutches when you won.
So, and if I didn't get injured, I got injured 2 games before that final. I think it was 2 or 3 games before that final. So then I know that in my head I was like, I would probably played in this game, but obviously everything happens for a reason. Yes, but at the time I didn't care about the reason. I was just like, literally again, wrong time, and such a bad injury. Yeah,
it's quite an innocuous injury. You never really see like someone get clattered. It's always like something.
It's not like a bad tackle injury. It's always just like just a wrong step. Like, and the thing is, it's not like, see, like with other injuries and that, you might have hurt something before you have the big injury. Yeah, where Achilles, like you don't ever really hurt your Achilles. It just goes.
Yeah.
Like there's no pain before. There's no like, I should have rested it the day before, whatever. It was just bang, gone.
Yeah, that's mad. Well,
I think age has as well, right? When it comes down to like the injury itself, because how old was you when you was at Grimsby?
Yeah, I was in my 30s as well. Yeah.
So it's like getting that injury in your 30s is like a I think it's there must be like a difference, because we're looking at Czech Decore, who's 24. And your play style as well, like beating on players, taking on players, using your pace and stuff. So I think it does depend on the player in terms of how much. Yeah,
of course, man. Yeah. Especially when you're younger, and when you're younger and you do your Achilles, you feel like I can come back from this. But at that age, then I was just like, if I come back from this, I'm not coming back to take on the world, am I? I'm coming back to like probably play at a certain level. So I was just like, maybe I take a step away from full-time football. Especially being up in Grimsby as well, that's far as well, man.
I was about to say, when I was at Woking and I was on the bench against Grimsby and we drove there. It took like 7 hours to get there. Bro, that is one of the worst. You said Huddersfield was bad. Grimsby.
Yeah, Grimsby.
That's got. Did you live there?
Yeah, I lived in Grimsby. Yeah,
what was that like?
Living there was alright, man. Like it was. I've lived in all different everywhere. Yeah, so this was like. It was basically like when I lived in Blackpool, it was similar. Coast, like I lived by the coast and that.
Bear fish and chips.
Literally fish and chips literally everywhere you go, there's fish and chip shops. Yeah, so, but yeah, that was fine. But it was when you've got an injury like that, that's when you're like, I don't like this is so far, like you're just on the phone to people, traveling. I can't remember when I'm on crutches and I've got a boot on and traveling is just long. So I'm just literally sitting in my room. I remember I was living in a hotel and just sitting in my room, just like I can't even bother to move.
Yeah. Obviously now you've been playing at Hornchurch. I'm a big fan of non-league. D doesn't really take any notice of it.
I do. He just talks about Dorking, not Dorking.
Obviously, Dorking Wanderers. I follow their YouTube stuff. I think you played them this season.
Played them the other day.
Good. Yeah. But yeah, you won the Ishmael Prem last year. I think you. Did you have Steve Morrison as your manager last year?
Steve Morrison up until December, and then Darryl.
The budget must be big there.
Yeah,
the budget must be. They got Sean Scannell and Steve Morrison. But how have you found non-league?
At the start, found it hard. Yeah.
Quite humbling.
Yeah, definitely. When especially at the start, because you from the levels that I played at, you go there thinking, I'm just gonna go there and I'm gonna do all right. But it wasn't like that. I just had to I got myself to the fittest I could get to. And then that's when I started doing well. I started treating it like I was still playing full-time football.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I think that's probably the best playing for Hornchurch. It's probably the happiest of football I've been since for years. Obviously picking up little injuries in the past years, living away from home. But when I'm at Hornchurch, obviously I'm back home, train twice a week. So I kind of manage my own body.
Yeah.
And I'm still playing what I love playing football still.
How are you dealing with them 3G pitches though?
Yeah, no, to be fair, 3G pitches are out. I do like grass better. Yeah, I love and people say they like the 3G better because I feel like they think it's easier to play on. But you can't beat grass, man. Grass is just like it's the realness of grass. 3G, and after that, man, your knees are all hurting.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go on to like some fan questions. You don't have to go too deep. It's just a few questions from followers and stuff. The first one's from Mike. Why did you dive for a pen against us when playing for Huddersfield?
I didn't dive. It wasn't. That is a mad first question. I didn't dive yet, but I went down. See that as a player, when you're a winger and you feel some type. When you're a winger and you feel some type of contact. Yeah, and no one ain't got the ball. Listen, man, like it's not a dive, is it? It's just I went down a little bit easier than normal.
We have that with Wilf. We've seen it with years. Like when Wilf was at the club, they used to say, "Oh, he's diving, he's this and that." But if you're watching it in like slow motion or whatever, like it's not the same as you actually running like any kind of contact at full pace. That's
you could have VAR'd what I'd done, and they would have said pen.
Yeah. Next one from Paul. What was Simon Jordan like?
He was good, man. Like he was. Obviously, you see the way people talk about him now, but for the young boys, man, he was cool, man. Like he gave us our contract, no questions. He believed in us. That's why he gave a lot of us that deals and that. But he wasn't really come down to the training ground now and then, but he wasn't really always there. So he was like, it's hard to explain with Simon Jordan because see, like you got chairmen that are involved a lot more, that are always around and that. Yeah, Simon Jordan would be at games, shake your hand and that. To be fair, one time, yeah, I called him Simon, yeah, and he turned around to me like, "Mr. Chairman to you." Yeah, and I was like, "Oh my!" But that's the youngster. I didn't.
He's
know
got a big ego though.
Yeah.
I think he softened down after like the whole losing all the money in the club. Now he's a bit more humble.
But he was amazing for us young boys, man. He was never rude, or when he saw us, he'd speak to us, make sure that we're all right. So he was class.
Yeah. This is from Tom. Do you regret committing to Republic of Ireland? Did you make a full cap or did you get called up?
I just got called up.
Yeah. You said,
I don't regret that.
Okay, cool.
To be fair, I made that decision. If I had to do that again, I'd make that same decision. Playing for Ireland was unreal.
Yeah, and then Patrick says, on Ireland, what do you think it would have taken you to get the full cap?
I don't know, man. I should have got it. I actually should have got it.
Yeah, you should have.
The manager at the time, when he took me away, I thought I was going to get it because it was like, they were friendlies.
Yeah. Serbia and I can't remember.
It was like a South American team.
Serbia and
Ecuador,
Colombia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like playing against Colombia, like them times there. But obviously, at the
who's the manager?
Trapattoni.
That's random.
Yeah. So that's why when he come in, he's come in, and the 2-week trip that we done away, he was at. He just wanted to get to know the players and who his players were going to be. So that's when he called me up. He was like, I was doing really well at the time, and I remember playing against Germany on TV for the 21s, and that was against like Neuer, Khedira, Kevin Rich Boateng, Jerome Boateng, and I got MOM. And after that, I literally got put in a 30-man squad, and then he cut it down to like a 20-man squad, and then I got put in that. And to be fair, that was unreal, man. Just playing with them like Robbie Keane and Damien Duff, and that was a joke.
Yeah, because you got named Young Player of the Irish FA 2000.
Yeah, I got Young Player of the Year for Ireland as well. It's, Alex Ferguson gave me the award.
Yeah. Next one from Patrick Sun. Who's your favourite ex-Palace teammate and why?
That's actually a great question, you know. It was probably been what as in like just in general. That doesn't matter about playing.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how good they are. Just yours.
At the time when I'm coming through, it'd probably been like someone like Bowlesy. Bowlesy was from my area as well, so I used to be with Bowlesy all the time. Like out of football, in football, always with me. And my roommate was Kleiny. So
it's mad he's still there now, isn't it?
Yeah. Kleiny used to pick me up from my house to go football all every day.
Has he given you any insight on like what's it like to play under Glasner?
Nah, I don't really ask too much questions. See, like with football, man, I just let them do what they do, and I don't want to get too much involved.
Yeah, of course. This is from Stan. Who is the best player in your academy side? We'll go with the under-18 Bostock Moses team.
Who was the best player?
Yeah.
The best player, yeah?
Yeah, best player.
Victor, man. There was not a single soul better than
Victor.
Victor.
Excluding Victor, because we know this is a next level. This is a next level player.
Other than myself, John Bostock. Ash Robinson was cold as well, mate. Ash Robinson was...
I know that, yeah.
Ash Robinson was a really, really good footballer. Yeah, I'd go with John Bostock, man, because John Bostock or Ash Robinson, definitely.
Yeah, he went to my school, me and Bostock.
Was he?
Ashley Robinson, yeah. Ashley Robinson had the maddest feet for a big guy. Though.
Yeah,
it didn't make no sense. It didn't make no sense.
He was actually,
what happened with the Fulham Facebook thing?
I don't even remember. Listen, see when that happened, I had no idea. I just remember someone telling me, and I just didn't see him again. And I was just like, this is crazy. But
he made a couple of appearances though, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't. Did he score? He didn't. I don't think he scored actually.
No. But he was a big guy.
Yeah.
So this one's from another pool. What do you think the differences are between academy level now and when you was playing?
I just see academy level now. I think there's a lot more. They're a lot more involved. Clubs are a lot more involved in academy now. So when I was younger, I think it was just raw. Like you just go and play, and literally like if you're good enough, you make it. Like obviously there's more to that, but now there's so much. This is so much more in detail, man. Like what we did when we got to like under 16s, when they start talking about looking after yourselves and things like that. I think they're doing it now younger.
Yeah. They have.
So,
I think they have it from like under 8s.
Yeah, so like you could be a
9s.
wonder kid now. You could be a wonder kid now at under 10s. You could never be a wonder kid at under 10 back in the day. Like you're 10 years old. Like now you're 10 years old and you're good. Yeah, they'll be like, you know what, we need to keep him. But you're thinking, bro, you got another 6-7 years. But you got the likes of your mom and people like that playing at 15. People were probably thinking to themselves, we got that this could happen again. Yeah. So when I was younger, and you got a lot more people that do one-on-one sessions now. And listen, I've never done a one-on-one session in my life.
No.
Yeah, no one ever done one-on-one.
You got your 10,000 hours in the cage and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's literally. So now you got people doing one-on-ones every day plus training. So you're playing a lot more football. So I just think that now is a lot more serious, man. I feel like you hold value so young.
Yeah.
Where back in the day, man, just because you played academy, it didn't mean anything. It just meant just go and do what you need to do, and let's see where you can get to.
Yeah.
You know when you were playing academy? Sorry, just quickly. When you're playing academy, were there like transfers between academies? Like you would have an academy footballer who leaves Palace, and
would people buy people?
Yeah, like buy or like buy, because we're seeing a bit more. You're seeing players from Arsenal academy going to United.
What I mean. Like, people are so much more valuable now, but it wouldn't be buying it. But I think it's compensation, innit?
Yeah, it would, and a lot of tapping up back then.
Yeah, listen, like now you're seeing you actually see like Palace got a good kid. You probably know might not keep him for a long time because he's probably going to go somewhere like Chelsea or Arsenal, or as a kid where back in the day you didn't get that. If I come through at Palace, I'm probably at Palace because for one I'm local, and for two, like what am I leaving for when I'm at Palace? Now people will actually be like at 11 years old, I'm going to leave Palace and go to Chelsea, or I'm going to leave so and so and go here because it's obviously a better academy, a better way through. When I was younger, there was no like looking at it as a better way through. It was just like I'm at Palace because Palace is the first people that signed me.
Chelsea just took Ben Watson's son from us, 14 years old.
So exactly, and that's nothing to do with anything other than probably a better way through, maybe better players there, and it's Chelsea.
Yeah, man. All right, that's okay. One more from a Twitter user. They said, "Was it hard seeing Palace get promoted after you left, or had you moved on from the whole situation?"
Yeah, no, I've always wanted Palace to get promoted, man. The only thing that was hard is that obviously I think it was the season that I left they got promoted.
It's literally the next season.
Yeah, so the only thing I wanted to play Premier League football. Yeah, but I didn't hold nothing against it because I was like, I actually was happy for people like Wolf and people that I played with to go on and like live their dream.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Okay, we're gonna last bit before we go on to what's going on now. Your quick fire questions, yeah.
Yeah.
So, best player you played with?
Big Moses.
Best player you played against?
Adel Taarabt.
Yeah, he was a baller.
Baller. Was that the championship season when he was just making everyone?
I think Warnock would have been their manager then as well, wasn't it?
That's when he left us, didn't he? Leave us to go to them. Yeah, he saw Taarabt. So yeah. Best stadium you played in?
Old Trafford.
Yeah. Best player you played with that never made it?
That's a great question. Someone that should have played higher. They made it, but they should have played higher.
Yeah.
My brother.
Yeah, Damo's a baller. Toughest teammate, like hard man.
Jonathan Hogg from Huddersfield. I would never trouble him.
He played for Watford as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he was there when we beat them in the playoff final. Best trainer?
Casey Palmer.
The one that's at Bristol, that's at Hull now. The young boy. Yeah, baller. Worst trainer?
Might put myself in there. Worst trainer? I don't really know any bad trainers, you know. That's a hard question to be fair, because I don't really remember anyone in training like that was just dead all the time.
Or just lazy? Bob.
Bob. Nah, I don't want to say Victor, man. Nah. Ballsy, man. Nathaniel Pinney is Bob.
Yeah. That makes sense. Best manager you played under? I'm guessing this.
For myself, Chris Powell, but in all as a manager, Wagner.
Yeah, I remember you saying. Worst manager you played under.
I can't answer that, man. No.
Okay, the manager that you didn't have your best time under, or you didn't get along with.
Probably Mark Robbins. I get why it never worked, but yeah, that would probably be the time.
Where was that?
Huddersfield.
Yeah, because he done great with Coventry, didn't he? He got
No, he done really well. Yeah. No, and the worst part, he was a good manager, yeah, but it was not that we never saw eye to eye. It's just that probably that would be the time when I didn't really do as well as I should have.
Yeah. Best personal performance in a game as a professional.
I've had so many, yeah, but I always remember my Blackpool game. I played against Blackpool for Huds, yeah, and I destroyed them to absolute pieces. I scored. I set up 2 in like 6 minutes. I got the left back.
Was this for Huddersfield against Blackpool?
Against Blackpool, yeah. I think the left back got subbed after like 15 minutes. They took him out quick, crazy. And I've never seen him since his day. Since that
day. Biggest stinker you've had in a game as a professional?
I had a couple of them as well. One time I played against Preston, yeah, and manager pulled me after, yeah, but I was on lot. Oh, actually, the Man United game, Lord, oh my God. Rafael and Valencia had me in the pocket, boy.
Best game you ever played for Palace?
The best game I ever played for Palace. It's a great question as well. But as in that performance-wise, or just the best time I ever had?
Yeah.
The Sheffield Wednesday game, man. That game there, man.
Yeah.
It has to be, yeah.
Definitely. Best pair of boots in your career?
You know what? Yeah, I used to love the CTRs.
Yeah, the red and the white ones.
Yeah. The red and white ones were serious. But I love Vapors. But CTRs were serious, yeah.
That's weird for a pace man though. To
you know what? I used to think that I was just all pace, but then see, like when you got certain boots on, you feel like you're certain players. When you're younger,
you had the little chops when you had the CTRs. You was on the chop thing.
Yeah.
Best goal you ever scored?
I scored a goal for Huddersfield against Wolves. One of my favourite goals when I ran down the wing.
I think you posted that the other time.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. There's one goal that I scored for Hornchurch. Yeah, when I chopped up one dude. Yeah.
I think I saw it as well.
Yeah. I just love that goal, man, because what I did to that kid, man.
Most memorable match of your career? Completely.
The most memorable game of my career that I played in, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be Sheffield Wednesday game, man. Just what what that meant to everyone in the club would have probably definitely been that.
And the last question: best moment of your career from start to finish?
The best moment of my career would have been getting promoted to the Premier League. Or I'm not gonna lie, probably see like your debut. You're never gonna. You only get that feeling once.
Yeah,
man. You can get promoted
more than the one goal, more than the first goal. The debut better than the first goal.
Yeah, my debut. That's a good one, you know. But see that the debut. Yeah, you that feeling of a debut. You will never have a debut again. Yeah, your first goal, of course, your first goal. Yeah, but like you may score loads and loads. But see that first game, like when you walk onto that pitch, I think there's no better feeling because like it's like I'm here now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's sick. That's all the questions, man. Just if we finish off, like what's going on at the moment apart from Hornchurch, you got anything you want to plug? Instagram, anything?
Doing mentoring. I do mentoring now for young footballers, just to help them through, to help players just to get to their best. Whereas with my experiences and what I've been through in the game as well, and it's not so much the do's and the don'ts, but it's just helping players with the don'ts, like helping them to not make so many mistakes. I can't make players make no mistakes, but not make so many mistakes and build good habits. And just football career is not long, man. So listen, you got to give it your all. Lou, you know, man, playing in these.
Listen, every kid. I didn't even get there, man. You got there. I didn't get
there. every kid, man, the dreams to be a footballer. So my thing is that just to give it your all and just helping players reach their full potential.
Yeah, man. D, any last words?
Nah, man, it was great. Like I felt like I went through like a career timeline. So even though like those who haven't watched you play as much for those at a particular age, like got crazy insights into the academy days, into Palace days, and your career. Like, I feel like as you get older, I feel like you've helping out with the youngers as well. Nah, man, it was epic having you on. It was epic.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate that, Sean, man.
No
really
problem,
appreciate it, bro.